IBC will consider you to be one of the clerks. After the presiding officer and the deputy presiding officer, there is clerk number 1 to clerk number 6. And all these are young people. We did this job when we were in university. All these are young people who could be there and also make sure that the vote is not stolen. Because the vote is stolen at the police station. And if you have 6 young people say, no way, you cannot steal this. Yeah. We know this place was 300 votes for so-and-so, and we have the number, we even got a photo. And it makes it easier, even to have evidence for election petitions. Because every time somebody feels that an election has not been properly conducted, they have a right under the Constitution to file a petition and get justice done, including these by-elections which are coming. If somebody feels something was not done right, they have that right. So it's part of now making a nation every 5 years, and I believe that's a nation the people choose. So if you choose a killing government, then or carelessly refuse to participate, that it comes in and finds you, it's part of making sure that we build the nation together. So I really want to urge young people to participate and to know that nation building is important. And that happens on the voting day, which is a public holiday. No need to spend, can you imagine 8 million Kenyans didn't vote? So they should not complain. They should not say we have a bad government. They should not say we have a wrong member of parliament or senator. Because by refusing to participate, you also made a choice, and the wrong one. Yes.
Okay. So when we look at what is all of this happening at the same time, I'm still coming back to this area that I think just really does need some attention, Senator, that even when some people do their job, because it's not possible that everybody is on the out. It's not possible. There are folks who are doing their job, but then they're fighting against the status quo. As you look at the last 3 years going into the next 2, towards, the end of this administration, whatever happens moving forward, is Parliament satisfied with the work that it's done?
That's the most unfortunate thing. With the broad-based government, and for us to arrive at broad-based government, the government was gone. By dissolving cabinet, President Ruto was admitting that I have no government. But because our constitution requires that election of a president takes place after 5 years, unless both president and the deputy are not there, of which the speaker takes up for 90 days and there's an election, he was telling us, I'm unable to run government. And therefore, I need help. So he dissolved cabinet and called upon everybody now, government and opposition, to come together to run government. And he was right. He had many useless cabinet secretaries and permanent secretaries, people who really didn't know what their job was. Even when they came to Parliament to answer questions, some did not know why they are in those serious positions. Others had fake papers and things like that. So, by forming broad-based government, opposition was weakened. And therefore, when they come to voting of the House, it is, the government has the numbers to get whatever it wants. But with opposition, with the united opposition, which is still there, we still have to check the government, the broad-based government. We still have to check it. Sometimes people in broad-based government riot and say this is not right, we are not voting for this. But you find the numbers are big, and we are back to
but it's not being checked. It's not being checked.
Yeah, it's not being checked. We are like one-party system sort of scenario.
And everybody who comes out to speak in public is saying something very clear in support of the government, or in or not in support. And that's the attention. There's no checking. There's no the Auditor General has been on this spree for the last 6 months and has been bringing out numbers that are unprecedented in terms of money that's being lost on a daily basis. And then the Kenya's being, still put into this situation of unending debt, closer and closer to 12 trillion shillings. It doesn't make sense. So the question is, when is the broad-based government, for example, being checked, and by whom? the Auditor General actually did come out in a plea and said, allow me to make recommendations about what should happen moving forward. Because why would she be so frustrated at that point? Because she's put it before Senate, she's put it before the National Assembly, nothing's been done.
No,
Senator, nothing has been done. This money that she's talking about that gets missing every day, in the last year, money that she talked about that went missing, nothing has been done. The reasons that we've been given is that, by the time we go through the reports that she's given, another year has passed and we're inundated by all of this work. But nothing has been done. Nobody's been brought to book.
I want to say that Parliament is a very important arm of government and should check the government and make sure that the government is thoroughly checked. And I look forward to days where you'll have government and strong opposition, like a similar case in America. You remember the money you are talking about is a year, 1.3 trillion Kenyan shillings were withdrawn in cash and cannot be accounted for. 1.3 trillion.
In what world is that okay?
Yeah.
1.3 trillion can grade all the roads in the country and make sure that every single ward in the country, every single constituency and every single county has passable roads.
Is money withdrawn in cash?
And this is money withdrawn in cash, which the Auditor General said could not be accounted for at all.
How do you even... So what kind of vehicle carries are...
No, it was withdrawn like on a daily basis. In a year, it was withdrawn. That one cannot even be fit in law.
Even if you have to withdraw 1 trillion in a year, how much will you be withdrawing in every day?
I saw
or
something.
Every second.
I saw something yesterday on the socials where someone was giving an example of what 4 billion shillings could do if you just given to spend it. And if you're paying 200,000 shillings for house rent, you'd spend 4 centuries to finish 4 billion shillings. 400 years to finish 4 billion shillings.
Meaning to finish 1 billion is 100 years.
It's 100 years. But you're talking about 1.2 trillion shillings that is lost like that. And as we sit here and having this discussion, the question still goes back to the August House. As we sit here today, we've rated the president for the past 3 years that he's been there. How would you rate the house that you sit in? How have you performed?
It's most unfortunate, but I've got to be honest. The house has operated as if there is no house. The house has been under capture. Every bill which comes for voting has either been negotiated or through the political parties, and it looks like the House has not done its job. Not even that, even the leadership of the House. For example, our Speaker is supposed to be neutral. Our Speaker should not be in the political podium. And therefore, to me, although we have rated the President to have performed badly, the House has performed worse. And therefore, the House should rescue itself from the capture.
Can it?
Well... these political parties which help. If you can see new directions being given to ODM, the opposition which has been there does its level best, and you can see the contributions in every debate. And even if, when we vote, you see the majority have their way, the minority have their say. But at least there should be quality debate so that even Kenyans can follow and see that, whoever is prosecuting on behalf of the government as a representative is a bill, their best level. And the same bill has also, been, opposed and debated thoroughly to show the pros and cons. Because finally, it is a vote. Finally, the House just votes. And the votes carries the day.
So if the votes carry the day, Senator, right now we are busy talking about the by-elections that are happening. 2027 is fast coming. If the government itself has let Kenyans down, you say that the August House has let Kenyans down. Under what premise then should any Kenyan sit and listen to members of parliament that they would deliver?
And that's why, the good thing is that democracy comes after every 5 years. And in fact, history has it that 70% of members of parliament don't go back. This is the time now the young people should participate in politics. We want new blood in the house. We want people who cannot be compromised. And I know that is with the young people. You know, the biggest problem in the house now is compromise. When somebody gets compromised and does not stand with the people who elected that particular person. So we want to encourage the young people. That's why I was telling them to register as voters. Because if you have no ID and you are not registered as a voter, you cannot vie. For you to vie, you must show that you are a Kenyan and you are an adult. And then you must show that you are registered as a voter. Then you can vie, you know, in the counties. You can vie for national offices like parliament or senate. You can vie as governor and you can vie as senator. So we want the young people. They are very talented young people. If you can win a university election to lead the university students who are very brilliant, there's no election you cannot win.
But Senator, Senator, it's one thing to then win the election, and you're urging young people to vie and to also vote at the same time. But there's something that there are conversations around Senate and the National Assembly. So once you get in, and this we've heard from people like, former Senator Roba, for example, they are very good, well-meaning senators who mean to do the job and get things done. But then you find yourself in what, quote-unquote, you call a cult. There's a culture and there's a system you're introduced to and a way of doing things. Once you get into Senate, you realize you're actually a lone ranger. You want to do good, but you find you're alone.
Yes.
Then you're persecuted. And you're talking about getting people who then will not be compromised. The president spoke the other day and said there's a big problem. There are a lot of MPs and actually said governors are being called, and then they're being asked for bribes. This is happening at the Senate for the National Assembly is to pass some of these bills. The money is changing hands. If that's then the culture, and it's clear that it has eventually come out, how then do you expect somebody who's coming, very fresh, coming in, to find there is a framework under which people work, there is a structure, there is a system, and there is this cult that then you are introduced to, and you...
No, to be corrupt or not to be, it's a choice you make. You hear during the campaign, we are telling Kenyans now, in these by-elections, because the government is spending a lot of money on them. The money is your stolen money. It's your taxes. So pick it, but vote wisely. Vote where you are still planned. Don't be swayed to vote in a different way simply because you have been given 100 shillings or 50. It's usually not a lot of money, you see, and to be corrupt or not is a choice you make. And I want to agree with some of those sentiments expressed by Senator Oroba. They are true, and also the president confirmed. But I want to give you two examples of governors who will not do this sort of thing. The governor of Kisumu, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, who never bribe any senator or any member of parliament for anything. His paperwork is done. If he has done mistakes, he's ready to be told, go and rectify ABCD. But he's very thorough with his work. And not only is he thorough with his work, he comes to Senate early. If you told him the appointment is for 9 o'clock to present yourself to be oversighted, he comes 5 minutes to 9 o'clock. And he's the one waiting for the senators. And then he is also aware of the standing orders. If after 30 minutes you have not shown up, he has a right to leave and go do other things. But Governor Anyang' Nyong'o would never bribe anybody. Similarly with Mutula Kilonzo Jr., he makes his work is well done. And he has no business bribing you. In fact, if you ask him for a bribe, he's likely to make it public that so-and-so was soliciting, for this sort of money. Because there is no personal money you'll bribe with. People bribe with the public money. And the governors who have done their work badly, they have been summoned to their houses. They don't even understand what is coming to be presented. They're such governors. And then they are running around with their CECs looking for, your own senator, to look for other senators, and the press is there. Every single question which will be asked, the press will be there running it live to show what sort of person you elected.
No, but what you're saying behind
these
the
are the
scenes,
people.
but what you're saying behind
These
the
are the
scenes,
people who now want behind the scenes to be lobbied, to be excused, to get away with a mess in their counties. So that's why I want to agree.
so out of 47, you've only mentioned 2 names. It's that bad.
So I'm yet to. I don't sit in every committee.
Yeah.
Probably there are other senators in other committees who have met people who are not compromising at all, and also the governor for Lamu. He has no business coming to bribe you.
Senator, one would ask the question then, is fidelity to the people, is service to the people or service to the party leadership? Because one seems to think that if the party leader says right, it is right, regardless of the fact that you're supposed to serve the people. Which one comes before?
Yeah, and just to conclude that issue of bribery, when the president was talking of parliament be bribed, the biggest question is who bribes parliament? And who has the capacity to bribe parliament or twist them through the party leaders? So for me, I take it differently. And I believe any of the party leaders told a point, by a member of that party who's been elected. And the point makes sense. I'm sure they should agree. But unfortunately, there's a lot of collusion. I have seen today some reports something to do with the pesticides. And I'll tell you, regulations were brought to the House with a list of herbicides, some of them banned in the world. And they were being reintroduced through regulations and through a schedule. And you know very well these are banned. And the House bans herbicides. So what does it do? The international community.
So is there an intention? Is it deliberate?
Yeah.
Is Parliament
The idea was
working in a deliberate fashion
the idea
to
was
keep
for
Kenya in a
business,
state of underdevelopment?
for businessmen to clear their stock.
But it's not just businessmen clearing their stock, it's killing Kenyans.
It is killing
And then
Kenyans.
here we are thinking about, okay, why do we see rising levels of cancer? But we can never trace it back to the fact that in the House of Parliament, there are men and women who've passed a law to use banned substances in agricultural processes that will kill people in the future. We never make the connection. So why then do we have it? You've by own admission, Senator, and we're even running out of time, 70% of those who go into the next vote don't come back.
Don't come back. But this time round,
It looks like 100%.
It's going to be worse.
It looks like it could be worse. But do we actually make the connection between the decisions that are made, whether you're making it at the behest of the executive or the behest of anybody? Do we see the repercussions that come in the future as a result of that? I mean, it cannot be that banned substances in Europe are being used in agricultural processes in Kenya. It doesn't make sense that bodies which are meant to be there to make decisions about how a country will develop will do that because the executive has said, go in this direction.
Yeah. I want to say that this is what Kenyans should look at. And there are very many good and well-meaning Kenyans who can be elected, do very well in parliament and do very well in the executive. We want a honest country. I know we can get a honest country. We have enough honest people. We have seen a good example of the chair of ESCC, the body fighting corruption, but be frustrated by another body, the whole DPP.
There you go.
But you find, and even a law was brought to parliament so that the chair, the well-meaning chair of ESCC can be sacked. And I think
Doesn't
it's
enjoy security of tenure.
yeah. Not even the description of the person.
Yeah.
What qualifications they should have. And I believe, well, it never went and never got far. I think the prayers helped. We know we want men and women who can stand for truth.
Indeed.
And unfortunately, it happens. Every Kenyan is guilty of corruption in one way or another. It begins at the election time. The electorate, they want handouts. So, we need to change as a country the culture so that we we are all say. I've seen election in other countries where there's no bribery, and I've seen parliaments where they do their level based and where they vote and make sure that they serve the people, and the fidelity to the people is key.
Is preserved. He's a senator for the Republic of Kenya in the county of Makueni. Dan Manzo has been here with us this morning. Senator, thank you for joining us this morning in this conversation. If anything, an eye-opener of what we're really having to deal with. Let's see how people make decisions in the future. Good morning. 2 minutes past 8.
The latest. This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.